I'm having her help me out with some work stuff.
Could you be more specific?
She was an accountant back before we got married, and her license is still valid, so she's taking care of filing my company's taxes this year. I was never very good with numbers, taxes, paperwork, and that sort of thing, so having her do it for me is a massive help. It lets me focus on the more important business matters.
I see.
And the reason it's particularly bad right now is because we got a huge influx in orders in the last quarter. She's got a stack of paperwork about a yard high that she's got to sort through. So yeah, that's why she's been so busy and tired lately. I'm really sorry.
Oh, you don't need to apologize to me, George. I know you're plenty busy yourself. I'm sure Jessica's proud to be able to support such a capable and hard-working man as yourself.
Hey, I'm nothing compared to Jessica. You should see her when she's on the job. She is super focused, and she seems like she legitimately enjoys it too. I'll bet she likes doing my paperwork more than she likes doing the housework. Who knows, maybe one of these days I'll put her in charge of the business and take care of the house for her instead.
Ever since she was a little girl, she's always loved being helpful. It's not surprising to hear that she's so jovial about supporting you. This is a tough time for you, so make sure that you're there for each other. I'm sure that the two of you can get through anything as long as you work together.
We'll definitely do that, Mom. I'll have her contact you just as soon as her workload settles down. Again, I'm sorry to make you worry about her. I should have said something to you sooner.
No, I'm sorry for taking time out of your busy schedule. I'll leave you to your work, George. Have a nice evening. Hello there, George. Do you have a minute?
What's up, Mom?
I was wondering, is Jessica with you right now?
She sure is. We're out on a little mini vacation right now. We're staying at a bed and breakfast in the woods, and it is gorgeous.
Oh, well, isn't that nice? Are you enjoying yourselves?
Yeah, it's super relaxing out here. We've been so busy with work lately that I thought it would be nice to have a little overnight outing. You know, just to get away from everything and unwind. So is there something I can do for you? Is something up?
Yes, actually, I received a call from your neighbors. You know, the couple that I told you we were friendly with. They told me that there was something odd with the house, so I came out here to check on it. I'm standing at the front door right now, and I hear a voice calling from inside the house. But you tell me that you're both out at that bed and breakfast, so what in the world could this voice be?
Wait, you're at the house right now?
That's right. When the neighbors told me they heard a strange voice coming from inside the house, I rushed down here right away to see what was going on.
A strange voice? What in the world could that be?
So you're not sure either? Well, in that case, I'm terribly sorry to do this while you're away, but I'm going to head inside and check it out for myself. I brought my spare key with me, so I'll get to the bottom of this.
Wait, Mom, do not go inside the house.
George, what's the matter?
It's too dangerous for you to go alone. You have no idea what's in there. It could be a burglar.
Oh, you're absolutely right. What was I thinking? I'll call the police and have them come in with me.
No, you don't need to do that. Seriously, it's all right. You don't need to worry about it. You know what? I'll bet that voice is coming from the TV. We were watching a horror movie before we left. I'll bet it got turned on somehow and the movie started playing by itself. Yeah, that's gotta be it. Tell the neighbors it'll be over soon, okay? You can go ahead and go home now.
George, is something wrong? You're acting rather unlike yourself right now.
Don't be ridiculous. I'm perfectly fine.
Is there some reason that you don't want me to go inside your house, George? Something you don't want me to see?
No, that's not it at all.
Are you sure? It seems to me that there's at least one thing in there you wouldn't want me to see. Namely, the sight of my daughter tied up in the living room.
Did you already go inside the house?
Indeed I did.
That's trespassing. You can't just go into people's houses without permission.
You didn't close the curtains all the way when you left. I could see her through the gaps. You'll have to excuse me for not being more considerate of your privacy after seeing that. Also, lest you forget, my husband and I are still the legal owners of this house. We have every right to enter whenever we please.
But it's still my house! You had no business going in there after I told you not to!
My daughter's safety is more important than your pride as the man of the house. I had no choice but to go in and rescue her as quickly as possible. Jessica told me everything you've been doing to her, George. You've been treating her like some sort of slave.
No, I haven't!
Then why did you bind her arms and legs with duct tape and tie her to the pillar in the living room? Can you explain that to me?
Well, it's, kind of a game, get it?
A game?
You know, the kind of game that adults play in bed. I know it seems odd, but I swear she loves that sort of thing. In fact, she's the one who asked me to tie her up like that. I'm not a particularly big fan. I like doing it the normal way, but she was insistent.
Don't insult my intelligence. She was shouting and crying for help when I found her. That voice the neighbors heard wasn't some horror movie. It was my daughter. You've been tying her up like this for months and forcing her to do your paperwork and the housework in exchange for giving her the bare minimum of food and water. I won't let you treat my daughter like this any longer.
I'm telling you, Mom, don't believe a word she says. Jessica's not the same person she used to be. She's gone insane. I'm not the abusive one. She is. I had to tie her up in order to stop her from attacking me. It was self-defense.
And now you're trying to blame Jessica for this?
Hey, I've been doing the very best job that I can trying to deal with her. I'm the one that got left holding the bag for your failed parenting.
We were completely wrong about you. We thought that you were a wonderful man who truly cared about our daughter, but now we know the truth. I've just taken the liberty of removing your things from the house. You'll find them down by the road in front of the house. You are no longer welcome.
You put my stuff down by the road? You can't do that. That's all my stuff.
On the contrary, my husband is the owner of the house, and we were merely allowing you to live there. That permission has been revoked, effective immediately.
That still doesn't give you the right to throw my stuff outside.
Oh, don't worry, the ground isn't that wet right now, so your things shouldn't get terribly dirty.
That's not the issue. You going all crazy on me is the issue.
After what you've put my daughter through, you think you have the right to call anyone else crazy? I took my daughter to the hospital. They'll be keeping her there overnight for observation. She was dreadfully malnourished. She's lost at least 15 pounds since I last saw her. It must have been torturous for her these last few months. I've talked things over with my husband, and we've decided to take legal action against you.
What? You're gonna sue me? Can't we talk about this? We're family, right? Families don't sue each other.
You are no longer a part of this family. Jessica will divorce you as soon as her health allows.
You can't make her do that.
I don't have to. She wants to divorce you.
Well, I'll never consent.
Once again, you don't need to. Our attorney will take care of you. My husband has been talking to him about the case while I've been taking care of my daughter and disposing of your things. We won't be pulling our punches, George. You should know by now that we will spare no expense when it comes to protecting our daughter's happiness.
Please, you don't have to do this. All I was trying to do was teach her some discipline. It wasn't torture or punishment or slavery or anything like that.
Discipline? Oh, you can't be serious. This is what you call discipline? Exactly what about Jessica was undisciplined, Can you tell me that?
Oh, I'll tell you all about it. That girl is rebellious like you wouldn't believe. This was the only way I could get her to stay in line.
Goodness, George, is English not your strong suit? Asking you to reduce the amount of work you were forcing her to do is not rebellious. Jessica told me everything. Once she started complaining about having too much work, you started threatening her with violence.
What? That's not true. I wasn't threatening her. Sure, maybe I lost my temper and yelled at her a bit, but is that such a crime?
Yelling? No, that is not a crime. Threatening her with violence, restraining her against her will, denying her food and water, those are all serious, serious crimes. All she did was push back against your outrageous expectations of her, and you bound her hands and feet for that?
I told you I had to! She was trying to run away! This was the only way to make sure she stayed in the house!
Yes, you couldn't have her running away, could you? That would have foiled your plan to use her as your slave for the rest of her life. And that's why you concocted this vicious, evil scheme of yours to tie her up and keep her in the house.
Look, Mom, this is a matter between me and my wife. She might not have enjoyed the discipline program I've been putting her through, but it is my prerogative as her husband to do what I see as best for her. And that's what I did. There was never any malicious intent. I was trying to help her.
I am not concerned about your intent. All that matters to me is that your so-called discipline program was grueling enough to put her in the hospital. Are you under the impression that having good intentions is a justification for causing such serious harm to a person? Let's see how far that excuse will take you in a court of law.
Okay, how about a compromise? You drop your lawsuit and get Jessica to stay married to me and not press charges. In return, I'll ease up on the discipline. How's that sound? I swear this time I'll get things right and we'll become the happy family we've always wanted to be.
No family that you're a part of will ever be happy, George. Now stop this foolishness and divorce my daughter without putting up a fuss. I'm not sure if you're aware, but the deepest circle of hell is reserved for those who betray their benefactors. We've been nothing but generous to you, and this is how you repay us? By tormenting our daughter? The time has come for you to go through our discipline program, George. I think you'll find it much harsher than yours. Thanks to the excellent work of my husband's attorney, we were able to make the divorce happen without Jessica ever having to come face to face with George. We settled our civil suit against George with a 6-figure lump sum payment to Jessica to avoid a lengthy and emotionally painful trial. George's legal troubles weren't over yet. He went on to face a criminal kidnapping charge for which he was found guilty and sentenced to 6 months in prison. After he got out, he attempted to get his business back up and running, but without my daughter there to do the heavy lifting, it soon went bankrupt. He tried to find employment with some of the clients who had been loyal to his company over the years, but word had gotten around about his crimes. Having become jobless, penniless, and friendless, George added a fourth less to his name, homeless. It's my understanding that he's now staying in a homeless shelter in the downtown area most of the time. We debated what to do with the house they lived in and eventually decided that the best thing for us would be to sell it. There were too many bad memories in there to use it anymore. As for my daughter Jessica, she was released after a few days in the hospital and moved back into our house. Her first order of business was being able to eat normally again. Once she was able to do that, she started recovering quickly. Within just 3 months, she was already back up to a healthy body weight and started looking for work as an accountant again. One of her old schoolmates, a fine young gentleman, has been stopping by the house quite often lately to check up on her. He came to me the other day to ask if he thought it would be appropriate to ask her out on a date, to which I gave my full blessing. I've known him and his parents ever since he was a little boy. I can rest assured that he'll be an excellent companion for Jessica. MJ, I heard that you got engaged the other day. Congratulations.
What? Why do you know about any of that?
Because your father told me all about it.
Really? So my dad went and told you all of the details about me?
Is it wrong for me to hear about that sort of thing?
I told him not to talk to anyone else about it for right now, so that I could surprise everyone later.
Oh, so you didn't want anyone hearing about this besides him?
Well, it's too late to do anything about that now, so whatever. I mean, you and him are married to one another after all, so it makes sense that he'd think it's okay to tell you. Should have been more clear about what I wanted with him. Oh, just make sure not to tell anyone else about this, alright?
Well, I'm sorry that I found out through him. Your father and I won't tell anyone else about you getting engaged, so don't you worry about a thing. Now, what kind of surprise are you planning to carry out for everyone else?
I plan on posting on social media about my fiancé and I the day we go to the courthouse and get married. I wanted to write a long message on that post and surprise all of my other family and friends.
So that was your plan? Well, I'm sure that everyone is still going to be very surprised by this. I know that I only just heard about this a little bit ago from your father, but considering we're all living with one another, please forgive him for opening his mouth.
However, you and I aren't related by blood or anything. So to me, you're less like family and more like my dad's friend.
But to me, I really think of you as my daughter. I'm sure that you've never really felt that way before, but
I am thankful that you took the time to get married to my dad and all that long time ago. And when I said that I wanted to get right to work after graduating from high school, you jumped in and got my dad to agree with letting me to do all of that. I really do appreciate all you've done for me in the past, taking my side during everything.
I guess things like that did happen in the past. I remember back when you were getting ready to graduate, you and your father fought a lot about things.
It was when I told him that I wasn't going to college or anything that he got so upset with me that he blew up. You coming in to save the day there by setting him straight really did save me. And because of that, he was willing to help me pay to move out of the house for a while.
All of that brings back some good memories from those days. And to think that the you from back then is going to be getting married now. It's all too quick for me. But that's just the way time is, I suppose, always moving by faster than we can realize. I remember the first time I ever met you. You were still in middle school. You really have gone from a little girl to being a beautiful young woman.
That's very true. Back in those days, I was nothing more than just a kid. I remember how everything went down around me when my dad decided to get married again.
You were still young and going through puberty, so having a new woman like me joining your family really made you upset, right?
Well, to be honest, I didn't want you in the family. But it's Dad's life, and he gets to make those choices for himself. And after he married you, I was a pretty rebellious little girl. But now that I think about you, I find that you're all right. I guess moving out of the house for a while helped me realize those things about you.
I'm so glad that you and I are able to talk about things like this now that you're an adult and all. I'm sorry that while you were still so young, you had to go through things only adults should be faced with.
Stop worrying about all of that now. I know I don't care anymore. Now back to me getting married. If my dad says anything against it or about how he doesn't like my fiancé, make sure to set him straight again for me.
I don't think he's going to be against anything this time. Both your father and myself are so happy to see you found the man of your dreams.
You have no idea, though. When it comes to my dad, he's still got his head stuck in the past. And he only ever wants for me to marry a man that is a hard worker and makes good enough money. So when it comes to my fiancé, I'm not too sure he's going to like him.
Tell me, what kind of work is your fiancé doing right now?
He's a musician, actually. But the kind of work he does isn't very stable, so I can see my dad being all against him. I can hear him saying that he wants me to find a man with a more stable job right now or something like that.
I don't think your father has had those kinds of thoughts going through his head. If your fiancé is really able to make things work by being a musician, that's amazing.
Right? And not only that, but he's a really hot man as well. He told me that in the past he was a model and everything at an agency.
So he's a really outgoing person, I assume. But thankfully he was able to find himself a super pretty woman like you to hook. I'm sure you both will make for a very attractive couple once you've married.
I guess my face is pretty good compared to other women my age. Thank God I never ended up looking like my dad either. My real mom was a very gorgeous woman, so it's thanks to her that I look so sexy.
I guess that's right.
But you know, for someone as good looking as my mom was, my dad still ended up divorcing her. I guess things like marriage really are difficult to understand for people.
That's right. And I'm sure there was a lot of stuff that ended up going down with both your mother and your father back then that even we couldn't understand.
Well, I have confidence that my fiancé and I will be in love with one another for the rest of our lives. I mean, he's falling head over heels for me all the time when we hang out.
Well, that's such a wonderful thing to hear, MJ. I think that you both will do so well together as husband and wife, and that you both will never have to worry about a thing in the future. Arrived at the wedding venue. I'm in the family waiting room right now with all the others talking and waiting for things to start, but do you want me to come over and see you? I would like to see how things are going and make sure you don't need my help with anything. And, well, I really want to see you in that wedding dress as soon as possible.
You can send Dad over here whenever he's ready. But you can go ahead and head back home now, Andrea.
Wait, what was that? Why do you want me going back home when I only just got here?
I took some time to think a lot of things over, you see. And, well, I came to the conclusion that I really don't need someone like you after all.
You don't need someone like me? What do you mean by that?
Since you aren't related to me by blood or anything, I'd rather you not be here sitting with the rest of my family today. Also, with me getting married to my fiancé now, I'm about to become part of a completely different family. Don't you think this is the best time for me to focus on them more than some stranger like you?
But you and I have been like mother and daughter for the past 10 years.
Sure, as stepmother and stepdaughter.
Even if we are only related by marriage, I've always seen and treated you like my own daughter. I've always thought of you as my own, and that's why I put a lot of my time and energy into raising you as such.
The one who raised me was my dad, not you, Andrea. It's because of my dad's income that I was able to survive under him.
I'm sure that his job and the money did play a big part in you being raised.
To be open with you, I always found you and that attitude towards me totally annoying and wrong. I just didn't want to get my dad any more upset with me than he was at times, so I made sure to keep my mouth shut about all of that. But man, was it hard for me to look at some desperate woman like yourself who only ever married my dad for his money and nothing else, try and act like she was my mom for the past 10 years now.
I never married your father for his money. Why would you ever even say such a mean thing about me in the first place?
Because I know for sure that that's the truth with you. Why would my dad ever choose to marry such a sad excuse for a woman like you? It really is the hardest mystery for anyone to solve, I bet. Perhaps you fooled him into marriage and he never left you because he didn't want a divorce twice.
Why are you saying all of these things about your father and I right now? Are you saying that after all this time, you never did really consider me a part of your family at all?
I don't ever remember saying to you that I loved you or thought of you like my mom, alright? Honestly, I didn't really care at all about who became my dad's wife back then and was just trying to get through school. It was all his choice in the end and never mattered to me. But that never meant I agreed with his new wife trying to act like she's been my mom for the past decade or so. And I do not want to read any letters of thanks and love from someone like you on a day like my wedding.
So that's how you've always thought about us and our relationship? But the last time we really talked, you never said anything like what you're saying to me right now. When you came to talk with me about the work you'd found and such, you told me that you appreciated my help and such, right?
Oh, come on now. Me saying thanks to you then wasn't anything special, and it doesn't mean that you get to hold that against me. I just wanted you to know that you were helpful was all, and not completely useless. But let's be honest here. Besides things like that, you haven't been any use to me at all.
So that's how you felt about me this whole time then?
And that's right. I have always hated your guts so much, and still kinda do. But at this point, none of that means anything anymore, right? No point in hiding our true feelings from one another anymore either. I'm going to have my own family now, which means that you and I no longer have to force ourselves to like one another. Now, with all of that having been said, you can go right on home. I'm about to make my own life of happiness now, and you will no longer have anything to do with my life. So please, leave me alone.
So you're really serious about using your wedding and marriage today as a way of cutting me out of your life, right?
That's what I've been saying this whole time, Andrea. All I ask of you now is to take good care of my dad for me.
I see. All right then. I'll take what all you've said to me with respect and not ignore one bit of it. I will no longer come around you anymore, and I will do my best to never contact you again. That should be all you want, right?
That's right. And make sure to do all of that for me right now, please. And good work with all you had done for me out of whatever that fake love you had for me was. Bye-bye. Have you gone home now? You're not still here at my wedding trying to hide from me or anything, right?
I just wanted to check with you one last time about this. Are you really sure that you're fine with what you've said to and asked of me?
I've told you that that's all I'm wanting right now. You're really being a pain in the butt for me right now asking that again. And you told me a little bit ago that you never talk to me again either, right?
I know that's what I said, but to me, you're like my very own daughter, and as my daughter, I'm just a bit worried about you right now. I think that this is my parental instincts kicking in and telling me that I need to check with you one last time about everything.
Huh? Stop trying to act like you've actually been my real parent this whole time when you haven't been. All you've been to me is a stepmother and nothing else. So stop it with all that parenting crap right now. It's just disgusting hearing you say all of that.
Good point. Me calling you my daughter all these years wasn't right of me. I don't even have a daughter in reality.
That's absolutely right. You've never ever had a daughter before, and you and I are just strangers. Now you cut that parenting crap out right now and get a grip, please. Now, I need to go out and practice for the wedding one last time before the real deal happens. You being the old hack stranger that you are need to go home right now.
I'm already on my way home, MJ. I knew it was a waste of time for me to be at that wedding venue any longer than I had to be, so I left a while ago. And it's not like it would matter if I stayed away, because I'm sure that your wedding is going to be canceled here soon.
What kind of nonsense are you talking about now, Andrea? Are you crying like a sore loser or something?
You're still not aware of what I'd done?
What did you do?
Do you see any of the staff around right now setting up the wedding? Doesn't it seem strange that they all stopped what they were doing and that nobody is out putting up any more of the decorations? I think at this moment all of them are listening to the wedding organizer tell them a very crazy piece of news.
Seriously, I have no idea what you're going on about right now. What are you trying to say to me about my wedding? If you have something you want to say and you want me to know, then say it to me right now.
You'll understand what I'm talking about really soon here, so I shouldn't have to say anything else. Just hang tight and that news will be coming to you next.
Hold on a sec. I've been waiting here for a little bit now and the organizer still hasn't come out to meet with me and do one last practice. Does this have something to do with what you're talking about?
Oh my, seems things have been set into motion now.
Huh? What do you mean things have been set into motion now? Hey, Andrea, did you do something in my wedding before you left?
I told you a second ago that I was sure your wedding would end up canceled, right? And it's not only myself who's heading back home right now. I believe that almost all of your guests and such are starting to head home themselves.
Why the hell is someone like you allowed to do something like that to me? You have no right telling my guests to go home and that my wedding is actually canceled, right? What the hell have you done?
How about you go and ask your good-looking husband about that? And then you should know what all has happened and what is to happen with that wedding of yours. Goodbye now.
I was told that the wedding is really being canceled now, and the one that they said was going to make sure was canceled was my husband. Why would he say something like that?
Why would you ask me? You're the one that asked for all of this to happen to you guys.
What the actual hell did you end up doing?
I told you I did nothing at all. I just did what you told me to do, and that was go home. The one that started asking for the wedding to be canceled was your own father. And it seems that he went and had a really good talk with your husband about the reason why that happened. He then told your husband that he should have your wedding canceled at once.
I have no clue what you're talking about right now. Why would my dad ever do that to me on my wedding day of all days?
What you said and did to me today was the worst thing I've ever had happen to me. When I showed your father all of the things you said to me over text earlier, he was furious about it. And then he let out this yell before saying that if you are going to treat your stepmother, who raised you for 10 years like that, then you don't deserve this wedding.
I told you to tell him a lie about why you were leaving so this wouldn't happen though, right? Why would you go out of your way to do that to me anyway? This is supposed to be one of the biggest days of my life ever. And by the way, why would Dad be going over to my husband to talk about something like that and asking that he cancel the wedding?
Remember how you and your husband only paid for about a third of this wedding, right? Did you forget who it was that paid for the other 2/3 again?
I know that it was my dad that helped pay for a large part of this wedding and all. But for him to go and ask for this wedding to be canceled today, his own daughter's wedding?
The one who really forked over their money for your wedding today wasn't your father. That was just what your father told you. But in reality, it was someone else, MJ.
Huh? Then who the hell was it?
Me. I'm the one that paid for the other 2/3 of your wedding.
There is no way on God's green earth that you're the one who paid for all of this. There is no way someone like you could even pay that kind of money to have my wedding, right? All you even are is a basic housewife as well.
I suppose I am just a simple old housewife for your father, but that doesn't mean I don't have a whole lot of money saved up. You heard the story from me before, how my parents both passed away when I was younger, right? Well, after all of that had happened and their funerals were over, I was told that the both of them had left me with a very, very generous amount of money and some other properties as well.
You're lying. I don't remember you ever telling that story.
Perhaps not about the money, but you did hear about my parents, right? I just didn't feel comfortable telling you about that money at the time.
Why didn't you feel comfortable telling me about something that important?
Because at the time, you were still pretty new to me, and so I didn't think that a middle schooler I didn't know well enough needed to hear about it. And when it comes to me, I know that talk about money can lead to a lot of trouble down the road for all parties involved. Also, I was told by your own father not to talk with you yet about the money I had, because he didn't think you were old enough to hear about it either.
Why would he say that? The fact that you both hid all of this from me is screwed up.
It seems your father didn't want me to say a thing to you about it until after you got over those bad habits of yours. I mean, look, had you found out that I had a lot of money, too much money for myself to have, you might come and try asking for it from me all the time, right? Your father didn't want that for me.
What the hell did you think of me? I would never ever ask for your money over and over like you're saying.
But MJ, explain all those times you'd steal money from my wallet in the past. Your father and I both knew about that happening, and that's why neither one of us could trust you learning about the amount I had. And that's why it was kept a secret from you for this long.
But that's all of my parents' money, right? You guys should be telling your daughter about things like money, because I have a right to that money someday when you kick the can and have to leave it to someone.
You're the child that your father brought along with him in the marriage, which means you have no right to the money, actually. And I never ended up adopting you as my own child in the marriage or afterwards, right? Therefore, this money I have right now will never be touching your fingertips.
What? You're telling me that I'll never be able to get that money after you die? Why can't I? You go and adopt me right now, Andrea.
But you were the one that refused me adopting you when I had asked, right? I told you that I would respect your decision, and that's why your father and I never did anything in terms of adopting you ever again afterwards. Did you forget about all of that, too?
You think I'd really remember something like that? And wait, you probably asked me that back when I was in my rebellious phase, right? You can't take what I said back then seriously.
Well, what does any of that matter now, MJ? Anyway, as you can see now, I've had a lot of money all this time. And I know you were saying that it was me who wanted to marry your father for his money and all before, but now you can see that you had the wrong idea of me, right?
I can see that now.
Anywho, I'm the one who ended up paying for 2/3 of your wedding. You really think you can get away with making such terrible remarks about me earlier and still have your wedding without any issues? That's not the way things work at all in this world, and you should be aware of that now.
But even if that's true, canceling my wedding on the day of it is insane. Are you wanting for me to be embarrassed now?
Don't you think being embarrassed by all of this today fits someone as selfish as you? Oh, that's right. Your father will be the one who explains all that's happened today to your guests. He said that he's going to make sure to tell them everything and anything they'd like to hear, as to avoid any confusion.
Hey, wait! You stop all of that right now! Why the hell would my real dad want to go and ruin his only daughter's wedding like that? You guys all stop screwing around with me right now!
If you're going to get all upset like that at me now, you're really going to make things worse. Remember that it was also you who asked that we cut ties to one another now, right? Well, that means I have no reason to be paying for some stranger's wedding anymore as well. If you really want to have this wedding of yours today, act like an adult and pay for it all yourself, please.
I couldn't pay for it all, and that's why I had to ask my dad for help.
Well, if you were expecting only him to pay, you have more to worry about than you think. Because, sure, he can help pay still, but what about your husband now? Seems that after what your father told me, he no longer wants to be married. MJ, I heard from your father that your husband is going to be divorcing you now?
This is not something you should be freaking celebrating, when I'm having to go through so much shock and hell as things are.
Well, it was his parents who were both against your marriage in the end, right? There's really no other choice but to accept this divorce and move on to someone else.
Well, this is all happening because you had to go and open your mouth to my dang dad about all of that useless crap between you and I.
Well, if the wedding was going to be canceled anyway because it wouldn't be paid for, everyone there had a right to know what the reason for me not paying anymore was, right? And that's why I told your father everything you'd done to me, and then he told everyone else in my place. Not only was your husband in shock from what he'd heard and seen, but so was the rest of his family too. Of course it makes sense for him to not want to stay married to someone as disrespectful as you.
Come back here right now, Andrea.
Why should I do that?
I will apologize to you for everything if you just come back here. I want to make things right with you now.
You think that your apologies for everything are going to end with me forgiving you?
You can at least act like you've forgiven me. I just need you to come back here and act like you love me again. I only want to avoid being divorced, and then we don't have to see one another anymore. If I make it seem like we just had a small mother and daughter fight, they should be all right with me staying married, right?
I don't really want anything to do with you anymore, though. And this had nothing to do with a small mother-daughter fight. I mean, you and I aren't even related to one another, right?
I will take everything I ever said to you back, okay? I am really, really sorry about what I said.
I kind of enjoy this feeling of you not only losing your wedding today, but you losing your husband and his family as well. But the wedding being canceled on the day of means I won't be getting a lot of that money back I wasted on you. So could you please pay me back everything I spent? And I mean every penny I had to put into that failed wedding of yours.
What? There is no way I could do something like that for you.
If you're not going to give me my money back, then I'll have to sadly take you to court and sue you.
The only kind of work I've ever done is a part-time job, though. So there's no way I can give you any money right now. You're the one out of all of us who has a lot of money, right? Why are you getting so upset about some $40,000 being lost?
The thing is, I'm not upset about the money at all, really. I just want to make you pay for having said such heartless and cruel things to me earlier that nobody should ever say to those that have done so much for them. You need to understand the kind of childish crap you pulled today and why, as an adult, you can't say those things.
I already know that what I said was not okay. I know that because I've not only lost my wedding now, but my husband as well. If I have to pay a large amount of money to you after both of those things, that's going to end up killing me.
Well, you're just going to have to live with all of that, or rather die with it. There are no longer any adults around who are going to help you through your troubles. Your father already told me that he'll be cutting ties to you now.
Even my dad is leaving me now?
You should have thought everything you were doing earlier through just a bit more. If you find that it's easy for you to go around making fun of others and ruining their lives, it's just as easy for everyone around you to throw you away. That's goodbye forever from me now. This old hag stranger will be going now. "20 months will seem like an eternity for MJ, especially when she's not making much at all, but that's the point of me asking for such an amount, and I hope it gives her hell. As for my husband and I, we're living life acting as though neither of us ever even had a daughter. And of course, we don't regret saying goodbye to MJ forever one bit. After all, this is the outcome that she wanted for herself, and I fully support it. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.
Sammy, I'm gonna be late coming home from work again today, and I'm not gonna need you to make me anything for dinner either.
What? But you promised me before that you make it your top priority to get home early today, right? You said after you got out of work you'd come home and have dinner with Seth and I.
Eat dinner with Seth?
Did you forget about how he just received his first bonus and was wanting to take us out for dinner on him? You'd promised him you'd be able to go out today after he had come home during the holidays and everything.
Oh, is that right? I completely forgot about all of that. I'm sorry, but could you two go by yourselves, please? I had plans come in for me to go out to dinner with a customer of mine.
Again? You were saying the same exact thing the other day when this happened with you, right?
I happen to have more than just one customer that I have to work with, you know. And since it's now January, there's a lot of work going on with all of them. Can you go and apologize to Seth for me, please?
How about you call or text him and tell him sorry for all of that yourself?
Well, it's a bit hard for me to have to talk with him over the phone, actually. You get what I mean, right? Him and I don't really see eye to eye on many things, and I'd much rather talk with our oldest, Mike, about things.
Well, Seth is still one of your sons, so I don't think you should be saying things like that about him when it's you with the problems.
I never said that I was blaming him or hating him for anything, though. I just don't like how he's always going on and on about the things I say to him and is always trying to one-up me. Remember how bad he was back when he was in high school? Always talking to me like I was the child and never knew what I was saying?
Well, high school is a strange time for boys to go through, so I don't blame him for having different opinions about you then. And remember that none of the things he was saying to you were wrong, right? I'm glad that he had the wit to tell you straight to your face that you shouldn't be avoiding all the chores when both you and I are working. And the things he said about you not being delicate when speaking to others.
He seems to only ever want to side with you, Sammy. Maybe you've turned him into a bit of a mama's boy? Even Mike has been a bit worried about the kid. And Seth is working out in the real world now, yet he doesn't even have a girlfriend or anything yet, right? What's all that about?
What are you saying, Brad? He does have a girlfriend right now, and she is very cute.
Wait, is that true? Last year when we were all at Mike's wedding, he told me that he wasn't in a relationship or anything, right?
That's because you were trying to pick on him about how he would never find a woman. He just lied to you so that you would all leave him alone, right? He didn't want to have to deal with you picking on him any longer, and that's why he ended things right then and there.
Duh. That's what I really don't like about the kid at all, Sammy. He doesn't understand how to have a good time and talk with his old man.
Well, you need to stop having such good times like that when you're at work. If you're acting the same way there like you act at home, then you're going to scare away all the new hires.
Well, Mike understands what I'm talking about all the time.
And that's only because Mike took after you and has fallen under your influence of becoming a bad man. I am happy he found a woman to marry and all, but he never does any of the chores at home either for her. I've been getting pretty worried lately that he might be causing some trouble for his wife Mary now.
Mary's the type of wife that would do anything and everything for her husband, all right? Not only is she quiet, but she listens and does everything he says. And when it comes to her body, I could do all kinds of stuff to it.
Hey, you! Don't you ever say things like that in front of her when she's around, okay? Heck, you shouldn't even be saying things like that in front of your own wife. Understood? I'm sorry to say, but the way you talk is a century too old. It needs to be changed for the better.
You really love to just run that annoying little mouth of yours, huh? Are you starting to hate the fact that you're becoming old now and are taking it out on everyone else? Because that's exactly what this all seems like to me.
Why are you suspecting that sort of thing from me?
Because recently you've really been going overboard with all that nagging, all right? And based off the way you're looking these days, I don't blame you for being upset. I mean, your stomach has started to look like a deflated basketball and your face like a wet piece of paper. I know you're trying your best to hide all of that under sweatshirts and makeup, but I can see all of those things all too easily.
I'm not trying to hide any of these things, actually. I'm at the point now where I've had 2 kids, and the both of them are living on their own now. So it makes sense that I'd be looking a lot older than before, right? And let me just say, you're not shying away from looking your age either. So I have no idea what you think you're doing sitting there making fun of my looks and age when you yourself aren't looking any younger.
When it comes to men, the older they are, the better they look. An adult man who's well put together and everything is what younger women want. You really have no clue what you're going on about, do you, Sammy?
Oh, is that so? Anyhow, you need to just be a bit more careful about the way you talk to others about others. I'll go and talk with Seth now about how you're not coming out to dinner tonight, and about how you broke that promise. Brad, do you know what time it is right now? I would like to lock the front door and go to bed soon. So either you come home soon here, or you don't come home at all tonight. What's it going to be?
You don't have to lock the freaking doors, all right? I'm not sure what time I'm gonna be home yet either, so you can leave the house unlocked and head right off to bed.
But recently in the next town over, there has been a rise in crimes like break-ins. And it sounds like a few of those people are still on the loose and haven't been caught yet. I already spoke with a few of the neighbors about it, and some of them said to start locking our doors at night in case they come this way. So before I head off to bed, I'd like to lock everything up.
What would someone like that even want to be breaking into our house for anyway? And even if you locked the doors, they could still break in through the window or just kick the front door down. Don't forget that the back door is a sliding door, which would be all too easy for them to break, right?
Stop saying such scary things, Brad. I would like to protect this house the best that I can, because it's what I've put so much of my life into. And considering that we have a nice house and lots of nice things inside of it, they would most definitely aim for it, right?
Yeah, all right. You're right that there are a lot of things they'd want to steal from us. But are they really going to steal from people who still have 10 years left of their loan to pay off? I like to think we're anything but rich.
This house was built thanks to that order your parents made, right? I told them not to put so much work into the place because we didn't need much at all. But they went all out on the place anyway, and just when they were supposed to start helping us pay the loans off, they passed away. And to make matters worse, they left you and I with nothing but debt, right?
But I made sure not to take any of that debt after they passed away, so you don't have to worry about it.
Well, even if that's true, they still left us with such a massive loan in this house, right? Because of that, no matter how much I work and work and work, I'm not able to save up any money. And now that both of our kids are out of the house and on their own, we should be saving all of our money so that we can retire.
Why are you making such a fuss right now? You and I are both working full-time, so we'll make everything work out for us in the end. Well, I say that you and I are both working full-time, but your line of work seems to be all fun and games for you, right? I really wish I could have a career like that instead of the crap I've been led into.
I know that I've already explained this to you plenty of times now, but my current job is anything but fun for me.
What did you call yourself again? An influencer? All you're doing is making posts online and bringing in some pocket change for us.
I am using the internet to make announcements about very important news regarding things that most people are using on a day-to-day basis. And at the moment, I'm in talks with some very important people about their businesses and mine.
Stop trying so hard to gain my respect. And you really think there are any businesses that want to work with an old lady's influence like yours? Stop thinking you're worth anything at all when you're only making a couple $100 a month.
All right. If that's what you want to think about all of this, then go right ahead. I'm tired of talking about all of this with you, Brad. So when are you coming home tonight?
I told you already, I'm not sure about that yet. Stop worrying about the house getting broken into and go to bed.
Brad, you and I have been married for close to 30 years now, right? And I'm not trying to place any restrictions on your life or anything, but recently, I feel as though you've been a little bit too crazy.
What do you mean?
Your life is becoming a bit crazy for your age. Every single day you're coming home late. And when it's your days off, you're never at home with me, right? It seems as though you're only coming home now to sleep, and that's it.
Unlike you and your pathetic life, I'm a busy man. And also, when I'm at home with you, I can't catch a break, 'cause there's this annoying old hag there that's telling me to do this and that all the damn time.
Don't start to think that me asking you to do the chores at home is anything new, Brad. I wouldn't mind if you at least did a few every week and let me take care of the rest. But the few times you are ever home, you don't do anything, and always yell at me to cook something for you and for me to get your work clothes ready for you. It's like I'm some kind of housemate of yours with the way you always talk to me. So I just ask that you do the things you want done from time to time and stop making me do all of them.
Sammy, I'm the breadwinner of this house, all right? I'm very much different from someone who just sits around at home all day playing for work. Even Mike said something about this, right? He said that for someone who relies on me for everything, Mom sure loves to take those business trips all the time.
When did you and Mike talk about my business trips and I?
We called one another the other day is all.
Oh, are you talking about that phone call where he was asking you for more money because his life isn't going the way he expected?
Well, I guess that's what it was about.
So he's even calling you about all of that now.
Hey, can't you please hand him a little money to help him out? He's a newly married man, and I feel bad for him. It'd be a shame if his wife started to notice he's in need of money right after getting married, right?
What are you talking about? That kid should have gotten a ton of money from all of the family when he had his wedding and everything, right? Yet he went and spent all of that money in a month?
He told me that there were a lot of expenses he still needed to pay off, all right? And when it comes to men, they have a lot of socializing to do as well.
Well, I never told him that I was against giving him some more money. But if he's going to ask us for money, I wanted to see a well-thought-out plan where he will only be putting that money into the house in order to make sure he doesn't get into any more financial trouble. However, he told me he's not going to do something that's such a pain in the butt and hung up on me without saying goodbye.
Mike isn't on his own anymore, though. He has a wife like Mary now, so things like that aren't easy for him to do anymore.
That's just a weak excuse, Brad. You want to know why he's acting like that in the first place? It's because you always spoiled him growing up, which is so upsetting since you always hold things against Seth and never let him have the same chances Mike had. You made Seth pay to get his own driver's license, all the while paying Mike more than it was worth for the license because he'd spend half of that money on himself. If we don't start holding Mike accountable for always blowing through the money he has, then he's going to be in a lot of trouble down the road, and that will most definitely hurt Mary. I don't want for Mary to have to go through all of that when she is so sweet.
You really don't ever listen to a thing Mike or I say to you, do you? That's one of the many reasons why I don't want to go back home to you, you annoying hag.
Then how about you and him start acting like respectable adults, and then I wouldn't have to comment on it anymore.
I like to think that the loan on this house isn't the problem for you and me, but you yourself. I would love it if I could build myself a new wife just like this house.
God, all you ever have to say is the most rude and self-centered junk. Are you not even a little bit thankful for having me around the house? Who do you think has been the one taking care of you all these years?
All right, okay, I've had enough of this crap now. I'm not going to be coming home now tonight, so go ahead and lock the place up and go to bed. I'm not even going to expect anything good from you anymore, so do as you please. Good night. Emmy, I have something I'd like to talk with you about.
And what the heck could you want to talk with me about? For the past 2 weeks, you have been completely ignoring me, never even saying a word, right?
I've been out drinking with Mike lately.
Is that right?
And, well, I've decided that I'm going to be getting a divorce from you now.
Huh?
I've had enough of you and what you stand for. I'll be having Mike and his wife move in with me now, so you're welcome to get out of my house any time between now and then.
Jesus, yet another one of your stupid ideas has shown its face.
There's no need for you and I to be together anymore, right? And also, to both Mike and I, all you ever are anymore is this burden that we have no use for. With you out of the house and my life, I'll finally be able to get a breath of fresh air again. And I'll be able to give both Mike and Mary a nice house to live in while they're having some struggles, right? And Mary'll be doing all of the chores in the house for us.
I don't actually mind the idea of divorcing you and leaving this house. But will you guys be able to afford to pay off the rest of the loan together? There are still plenty of years left on it that you'll have to be responsible for.
It's just $500 a month, right? That's pocket change to a man with a job like mine.
$500 a month? What do you think you're saying right now? It's $5,000 a month, Brad.
Huh? $5,000 a month? Stop trying to lie to me about that. I've been paying $500 a month for the last couple of years on that loan, all right?
You have been, that's true. But I've been the one paying off the remainder every month after you.
Look, you, I don't care how much you're against the both of us getting married. You need to stop lying about things like that. Tell me, what kind of a house would require a loan that's $5,000 a month to pay off?
This house, you dumbass. It's all because the both of your parents, when went to town making the plans for this house up, that we had to take out such a massive loan. It's the kind of house where we have to spend almost 10 whole years of income paying it off. And the bank said we'd get 20 years to pay it off. Compared to most other loans, that's a very short time frame to work with. But none of you ever listened to me about when I said we didn't need all these extra rooms and crap here.
Are you really saying that there's a reason for this place costing $5,000 a month and that you're the one paying that remaining $4,500 a month off?
I am saying that, Brad.
If you're gonna speak to me like that, then how's about you go to bed first and learn to wake up? Honestly, it's so childish for you to be making up such a lie right now just because you don't want to be thrown away. Well, if it's really $5,000 a month, then I'll be able to pay that off too. So you're gonna be leaving me whether you want to or not.
All right, sure thing. I like to think this is the perfect time for me anyway. I was doing my very best to hold myself together in order to raise our kids and get them out of the house. And now that the both of them are out and have jobs of their own, I think it's time I said goodbye to you. I'll be sure to leave this house during this week, all right? So let's make sure to get those divorce papers handed in as soon as possible. How does that sound to you?
I can't believe how much of a bitch you're acting like to the very end. That's why the moment you became an old hag, you're being abandoned by your family. Starting right now, you're gonna be finding out just how much you'd taken advantage of me and my money, and will most definitely learn to regret. Where are you at right now?
That has nothing to do with you, right? I mean, you and I are completely divorced from one another after all.
This house's loan, it really is $5,000 a month to pay it off.
It sure is, Brad. It sure is. Have you finally come around to believing what I told you now?
Mary told me that a demand letter came in the mail today.
Uh-huh. I was expecting something like that to be coming to you guys soon.
Hey, what should we do about this?
That has nothing to do with me, so asking me is only going to annoy me. Now, what I'd like to talk about is splitting our properties. Whatever happened to us doing all of that anyway? You always say that you're too busy to talk about it and say that we can chat later. Well, it's been a month now since I left the house, so could you please hurry up and decide on a date for us to talk? I have a lawyer who is growing a bit impatient now, and I'd like to let them know when to come out and see me.
Sammy, do you think you could come back to me?
Excuse me?
You were always paying off the remainder of this loan every month, right? At first I thought you were just lying about all of that to avoid the divorce, but you weren't kidding me then, huh? I seriously didn't think at the time that you were really bringing in that kind of money each month.
You want me coming back to you now ever since learning about the amount I'm making? Don't be so ridiculous, Brad. You really have lost all of my respect.
No, wait, I'm really regretting kicking you out of the house for Mike and Mary now. Mike has been making me pay for everything in his life now, and I assumed that Mary was this very well-rounded woman, but she doesn't actually do any of the chores here. Actually, she's far worse when it comes to burning through money, and just last week she spent $5,000 on plastic surgery alone, and she did it with her credit card. How could she do something like that?
They are so much alike, it sounds. To be honest, I was always worried about Mary being with Mike, you know? But did you know that when I was leaving the house, she stopped by and was laughing at me under her breath? I thought that maybe she didn't mean to laugh at me or anything. But then I learned she did view me the same way as Mike did. And man, am I glad I didn't worry about her any more than I was.
This is not okay. I never thought things would turn out like this for me, all right?
But isn't this all that you've decided on having happen? I think that it's too late for you to be trying to get back with your ex-wife now after things you've said to her. So how about you put down that phone of yours and start asking for more work so that you have the money to start paying things off?
Please, Sammy, come back to me. If you come back and live with me again, I'll make sure to kick both Mike and Mary out.
No way, Brad. I'm actually looking forward to what this new life of mine holds for me. So you screw off and get out of my way.
But I'm in a whole lot of trouble right now. If nothing changes here, then I'm gonna even end up losing this house.
Well, wouldn't that be a wonderful thing for you, though? If you're not able to afford paying off that loan anymore, go ahead and sell the house to get yourself out of debt. I'm sure it won't sell for the price we had to buy it for, though. But that's just the downside of not taking great care of the place.
You're telling me to let go of this house now?
That's the only option you have now, mister. And let's not forget about the money you still owe me. Are you even able to pay that off?
You're talking about money that I owe you?
We'll talk more about it when we speak about the property split. But I paid a lot more of that house off than you, which means I get part of it. So if you don't have the money to give me in place of the house, then you're going to have to sell it and give me part of what you make. Also, you have a settlement to pay off for having that affair.
What affair?
Oh no. So you just assume that I never noticed anything going on there? You would go and pay to hang out with a young girl and have sex with her all the time, right? You were even using some of the money we saved up in our shared account, right? I have all the evidence proving these things, so don't even try talking your way out of any of it.
Since when did you know about all of that?
I started looking into it about a year ago now. And that's why I've been thinking about divorcing you for a while now, actually.
Why are you only bringing all of that up with me now?
I was just waiting for the correct timing was all. But then you started to talk about how you wanted to divorce me, which was the best thing I could have ever asked for. And the only reason I was waiting until after the divorce to talk with you about this is because we needed to settle all of our other problems first.
Hold on a second. At this point in time, I really don't have any money. And right now I have no clue what's going to happen to me and this house next month.
That has not a single thing to do with me, though. I'm going to make sure you pay the hell up, big guy.
I'm sorry. I apologize for having thrown you out of the house and abandoning you, and for having made fun of you and your career. I was wrong for doing all of that to you. So please, could you come back and help me now?
You're asking me to go back to a man that not only made fun of the woman I am, but only paid $500 of the $5,000 loan, and who went and had affairs with another girl much younger than you and I? Would you cut it out with all of that unfathomable talk? Who do you think you are saying that to someone like me that's doing just fine on my own?
Until recently, you and I were doing so well together, right? We'd been together for 30 years, right?
You and I were doing so well together. I'm sorry, but I think I was the one working their ass off in order for us to do so well together. And it was your ass that kicked me out of the house and divorced me after 30 years, right?
Sammy, I really am so sorry for all of that. From now on, I'll do everything you say to me. And from now on, I'll be doing all of the chores for us. So please forgive me. Please find some way to give me one more chance that will allow the two of us to live together again. That's all I'm asking for.
No matter what you have to say to me now, it's too late. You should have been saying things like that to me when we were married and living together, right? You really were the most useless person ever, right until the very end. It's because you not only look like an old fart, but act like one too that I'm never going back to you. So now, you can learn and regret all the things you did to me for the rest of your sad, little, insignificant life. After that, my ex-husband and I got together and talked all about how much he'd owe me in the splitting of our properties, as well as how much the settlement would be for him having had those affairs. But of course, he didn't have the money to pay me immediately, and so I told him to hold off on that until he had sold his house and had some money ready. And then, after half a year had gone by since the divorce, the money was transferred into my account by him. I'm sure that for him, it was hard to have to pay me that $40,000 settlement. But that's what happens when he had an affair after being my husband for so long. And for my older son, he still follows my ex-husband around looking to get any money he can out of him. And currently, the three of them have been living together in a smaller apartment. I've heard a lot about how they all get into fights quite often at that apartment, and will cause a lot of trouble for the rest of the tenants since they are so loud. And it's always about things like my ex-husband not having enough money for his son and daughter-in-law, and about how Mary isn't doing enough of the chores for my ex. I know that for a little bit, both Mike and Mary claimed that they would leave my ex and go to her parents' house for good. But when they tried calling them to ask if that'd be all right, they were hung up on immediately. It seems that Mary's lack of seriousness and total selfishness around the house didn't go without notice at home, and so both of her parents had cut ties to her a long time ago over all of that. So, I suppose that means Mary just forgot about all of that, or was never really aware in the first place what they'd done. But with no other options, and with Mike not really making enough money to support the both of them anymore, they had to shut up and continue living off of my ex-husband, who doesn't have much money coming in either. I made sure to block both my older son and my ex-husband soon after getting the money, but not long after that, my younger son Seth called me and said that Mike was asking him for money now. But since he had been treated like crap by both my ex-husband and Mike, he said he had no reason to help them out any, and blocked their phone numbers as well. He only did that, though, after sending a picture of him laughing to his brother and watching how he responded to that. I'm not sure how things are going to turn out for my ex and older son down the road, but they are free to do whatever the hell they want now. I'm sure that neither of them are going to have very fun lives though anymore. As for myself, after getting all of that money from my ex-husband, I went and bought myself an older condo downtown. Thankfully, the place was partially furnished with some rather nice stuff, and most of the piping and electrical are all new, so it is livable. Over time, I'll work on getting myself some nicer furniture and decorate the place up a little, and will also repaint the walls and redo the wood floors as well. But that'll all be stuff I do down the road, because this year I'm just going to take things easy in regards to my wallet and focusing on making money. Because of the loan I was paying on that other house, I never really had the ability to save much money at all, so from now on I'm going to work my butt off to save up for retirement. I want to make sure I have enough so that I never have to bother my son for any of his money or time, and can leave him to do whatever he likes with his girlfriend. And with me no longer having to worry about my ex-husband and older son, I have the ability to work as much as I want for as long as I want. There's no telling how long I'm going to continue working for, but as long as my body can function properly, I'll try to have some form of income. I really am looking forward to what some would call the second chance at life, and what will it bring me down the road. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.